Do you know why people say better to hear a ghost cry than a ghost laugh? Because if a ghost cries at you, it means it has grievances and is seeking justice. But if a ghost laughs at you, then you're in real trouble. What follows may go far beyond your imagination. Now tuck your little feet under your girlfriend's clothes and tag your most timid friend to watch this. Wang Laosi had been fishing corpses from the moat for 30 years. Yet he had never seen anything like this. At 3 a.m, a man in a black suit handed him a thick stack of crisp bills. He only said, "Pull up the girl who fell in last Wednesday, whole, intact." He gave no photo, no description, and then disappeared into the house without another word. That night the river felt wrong. Normally muddy, its waters were instead black as ink. The lantern at the bow barely lit half a meter before being swallowed whole. Wang Laosi lowered his grappling pole into the dark. Suddenly the boat jolted, like he had poked into something soft. When he pulled it up, a strand of dripping wet, jet-black hair clung to the pole. The hair was long, water dripping down its ends. Twined around it was a scrap of cloth, red floral fabric. Wang Laosi's heart sank, he knew it. Last Wednesday at dusk, he had seen a girl in a floral dress crouching by the riverbank, crying. The fog was thick and he hadn't seen her face clearly, but he remembered the string of silver bells tied around her wrist, tinkling in the wind. Gritting his teeth, he sank the net deeper. But as soon as it touched the surface, bubbles rose from the water. And in his ear came a faint weeping sound. Not the girl's voice. An old woman sobbing right beside his ear, whispering, "Don't fish it up." But Wang Laosi refused to leave. His hand tightened on the pole, sweat breaking out. The lantern flickered. A blurred shape surfaced beside the boat, floating on the water. Squinting, he saw the girl. Face down, her floral dress spreading out in the current. The silver bells still clinging to her wrist, he reached out with his hook. Just as he touched the hem of her dress, something shot out of the water, coiling around his wrist. Hair, somehow grown thick and long, twisting like vines up his arm. "You pulled the wrong one." The voice came closer, clearer, crying. Wang Laosi looked up. The girl had turned over. Her face was pale as paper, eye sockets nothing but black hollows. And she said, "It wasn't me who fell in last Wednesday. It's me you're fishing for." Wang Laosi's body stiffened. Suddenly he remembered, last Wednesday night. He really had heard a splash from the opposite bank. At the time, he thought it was just a cat and didn't pay attention. Now the hair around his wrist tightened violently, making him cry out in pain. He looked down. Another face floated up from the water. It was the man in the black suit. His face was exactly the same as the one before, eye sockets hollow and black. Water bubbles streamed from his mouth. In his hand, he clutched half of a torn photograph. In the photo, a young woman faced the camera, smiling. On Wang Laosi's wrist, the silver bells jingled faintly in the damp night. Click. The lantern went out. From the river came louder and louder sobbing. Wang Laosi felt the boat sinking lower, water rising around him. He tried to shout, but river water surged into his mouth, choking him. Floating in the current came that same string of silver bells, whispering right by his ear. "Next one is you." By dawn the next morning, people found Wang Laosi's boat drifting in the middle of the river. It was empty. Only a single soaked photograph lay there. On it, the smiling girl looked straight at the lens, and behind her stood a blurred shadow, as if reaching down to pull something from the water. As for the stack of money, no one ever saw it. But it said that ever since that night, every morning at 3 o'clock, a lantern's glow drifts across the moat, and the boatman's voice calls out into the darkness, "Who wants a body pulled up?"